Hello and welcome to Anthony's Brick Builds, and today we're going to be reviewing this powerhouse of a LEGO Star Wars set. This is the UCS Death Star, coming in with 9,027 pieces, 38 minifigures, and a price tag of $1,000 US. I am incredibly fortunate to be reviewing this set with you guys today. I am so excited to as well. It's going to be a grueling build. I've heard this build takes about 24 hours to make for experienced builders, and I consider myself one. So we're going to be actually timing this build as well. So it's going to be awesome. I was contemplating doing a speed build of it, but this is such a big build. I think that wouldn't be very beneficial, but it's going to be awesome. And if you bought this set on the first week of its release, you got the little tiny GWP 40771. This is the Imperial TIE Fighter with hanger rack. And if you include this set with the main UCS set, you have a total of 41 minifigures. So that is an incredible number. We'll be reviewing this set separately, but we'll also be taking a look at this in the Death Star, hopefully pretty soon. But this is going to be an incredible set. I'm very excited to be reviewing this one with you guys today. Now, let's take a look at the box in just 1 second. Alright, so here is the box. We're going to be going over this set very carefully because there's so much to go off of. Top left corner, you have the Death Star Star Wars logo, and you also have the very nice black box art. I actually am one that likes the black box art. I think it looks pretty cool, and it really centers the set in the center of the box. Top right corner, you have Ultimate Collector Series. Bottom corner, you have Star Wars and Disney, and then you have your LEGO logo, 18 plus. Set number, piece count, and a building set. Now on the top, you see that we have 38 minifigures in the set. The good guys are on top. Then we have the awesome Imperial lights, which separates the good guys from the bad guys. So we have some incredible minifigures, like we got Colonel Yularen back, some Stormtroopers, and my personal favorite of the set, Hot Tub Stormtrooper, followed by the Astromech droid. I really love Astromech droids with the clear head, so it's going to be so much fun. Now let's take a look at the rest of the box. This thing is a whopping, I think, 24 pounds or something. This is a really heavy box. But you have this really interesting side box picture of the UCS of the Death Star, honestly. It's really interesting. I don't know where the heck they got this from, but it reminds me if you looked up wallpaper app for your iPad, and this is the first thing that popped up. So that is what I think it looks like. Moving this box around, you will see that we have the back where it showcases a lot of the scenes. And we have like the Emperor's Arrival, the Imperial Shuttle. That's going to be awesome to build. Then we have the Trash Compactor Control Room, Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan. Then we just have the elevator. That's going to be fun. And we also have the Meeting Room, Torture Chamber, the specifications. You can take a look at that. Then we have the Throne Room. And then we have a Death Star cannon. This is just many of the few scenes incorporated into this build. Then you have a one-to-one showcase of how big this Death Star is. And, you know, it's very thin. I am very excited because this honestly is a pretty cool surprise for me, and we'll go over this more at the end of this video of my final thoughts, but I really like the road LEGO took with this, and it's going to look awesome. Now let's get to the unboxing of this bad boy. Alright, so now it's time to unbox the UCS Death Star. So we are going to spin the box around so the back is facing you guys. Open my knife, my very special knife, only used for opening big LEGO sets. There are 3 tape seals on the top of the box, 1, 2, and 3. Close the knife, put it over here, and now we open up the Death Star. So we are going to take top flap, open it up, and that is going to showcase this very nice schematic side of the Death Star, let's call it like that, and we're just going to move on over here so I can just see what I'm talking about. So right here we have the side of the Death Star, very nice schematic of the inside. Really love all of the blueprints of it. That's kind of my favorite thing about it. Then you open it up and get this really awesome Tarkin reference right here. Fear will keep the local systems in line. Fear this battle station, Grand Moff Tarkin. So this is going to be the opening of the main box, where you open up and you see box numbers 1, 2, and 3. And then you have Darth Vader from Rogue One. So this is an awesome little scene from Rogue One, and I really like that they include on the boxes. Now, let's take out these boxes, actually. These are 3 interior boxes, and let's just get them out. They actually have some very nice greebling on the side with just like prints and stuff. So you can take a look at the side. So it's also pretty cool about these boxes. You have the lightsabers that are lit up for kind of red being the first one, then red and green will be lit up for the second one, and all three will be lit up for the third. So let's just take out all the boxes, then we'll go over the other sections real fast as well. So take out this. You'll see now the 2 lightsabers lit up for box number 2. Put it right there. And then we'll take out box number 3. And we have all 3 lightsabers lit up for this UCS Death Star box. And now we are going to put it over here. And we're going to do a closer look at these main 3 boxes before we open them all up. Alright, so with these 3 boxes, there's not too much to go off of. You just have the black boxes, the lightsabers that light up for being your kind of cool reference, numbers just showing numerical reference of how to order them, and you have the Imperial lights. But what the cool part is when you actually open up each individual box and actually see what's going to happen inside of them. So let's do that part of this unboxing. Alright, so the next part of the unboxing, we're going to open up each individual box, and there's supposed to be some really cool references on the inside of the box. So you have 2 tape seals on the top of each box, then you have a tape seal on each side of the box, and then you also have some tape seals on the other side of the box as well. So let's get number 1 done. Almost there. There we go. Number 1 is now done. Now we're going to be taking the box like this, opening it up, and here's bag number 1. It looks like it goes up to bag number 12 by the top of the box. Well, we'll do a closer look at that in just a second, but let's open up the other 2. So, 2 tape seals on top, 1 each on the side, and then 2 more on the bottom. So these are very useful, this like packaging method that LEGO is using for this, just to keep it a little simpler when you're building this big set. I believe there's 83 bags in total. So this is going to be an astonishingly long build, like I said in the intro. This is probably going to take me about 24 hours to make, which is much longer than any LEGO set previously. So looks like top of this goes to about bag 35. So that is a pretty good number. And then let's take a look at the last box right here. Got tape seals, 2 on top, 1 each on the side, and then 2 more on the bottom. And then we'll just do this. There we go. Close the knife. Put it over here. And then here is the last box. It's coming out. There we go. So I can see bag 80. A lot of bags in here, so this is going to be really fun. And let's take a closer look at the side images on these boxes. Alright, on the sides of the first box, you kind of got this planet of what I'm expecting to be Alderaan. Then you flip it over here, you see the Death Star being built from Andor. Then you go to the next side. There's a pretty generic image of some TIE fighters and a Imperial shuttle in a Milky Way galaxy type vibes. And then you have Alderaan sitting in the blueness of space, the blackness of space, sorry. Next one, we have the Rebel Alliance X-Wings and Y-Wings coming into play near Yavin and Yavin 4. Then we have a Imperial Star Destroyer, pretty cool, about a planet, and also looks like an Imperial shuttle. Next side is the Millennium Falcon, another of a black box. So it's basically kind of a continuation of this over here. And then our last side is the super laser firing upon Alderaan. Then we move over here. Another AI generated image I'm basically going to call it in my head. We have the X-Wing, a TIE fighter, and a planet. Probably Yavin 4 is my guess. And then we have the Death Star most likely being blown up over here with a bunch of X-Wings. Then our next side is going to be the same Death Star being blown up, and we have some TIE interceptors. And then our last slide looks to be the original reference, the original explosion of Death Star, but then with some more AI art up here, 2 TIE fighters, and the explosion. So this set contains, I believe, 88 numbered bags. So that is going to be a lot for me to store on my table. So I'm just going to keep each bags where they belong in their respective boxes and then build this big set and then review it with you guys. So let me build this ginormous set and let's go over the minifigures. All right, I forgot to mention that this set includes 6 instruction manuals. So you take a look at it right now. The Death Star, that's no moon. This is going to be really fun. Then you have progression of Death Star 2005, 8, 16, and then 25. And then it's showcasing just how big the Death Star is and just different references. And it's really cool. You have the bottom base where this is all going to build this little base right here. Then you have the Imperial Shuttle. And then the minifigures that you build in this section. And then this is one of my favorite pictures, just the Imperial Shuttle just landed. That's going to be awesome. Then you start the build. Then I believe each manual has a certain part of the build that you are making. So we're going to be building in the next section, this part right here. So this is going to be really fun. And then we have the massive sticker sheet right here. So I think the sets I've built with the biggest sticker sheet is the UCS Death Star and the Avengers Tower that came out just a couple years ago. That had a ginormous sticker sheet as well. I forget exactly how big it is, but this one probably takes the cake as the biggest instruction manual I've ever made. So without further ado, I'm going to build this set and let's check out the minifigures in just a couple seconds. All right, so we have 38 characters in this set, so let's go over them right now. First, we have Farm Boy Luke Skywalker. I really like this figure, and it is really nice. Probably arguably one of the best ones that we've had so far. That little bit of waist printing really helps the character. Then we have Stormtrooper Luke. I would have really liked to include an extra Stormtrooper helmet so you can kind of make it look like you have another Stormtrooper in the mix. Same would go for the Han Stormtrooper variant as well. Then you have the return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker utilizing the new hairpiece. I really like the new hairpiece. Looks very good. And he also includes a green lightsaber. Then you have Han Solo. Really like Han Solo. Very good job. Just the flesh tone printing on the top of his torso. It does look a little bit washed. And then we have Stormtrooper Han. Stormtrooper Han is a really good figure. I would have, of course, liked to include another helmet. They did include that in 2 of the previous playset Death Stars. And then we have Chewbacca, same old Chewbacca, nothing new. And then we have Princess Leia Organa. I really would have loved if she came with her pink dress, her white dress piece. That would have looked really nice. They did include that in the Tantive 4 set. And they also include legs for that set as well. So there's not really an argument against that right there. It's a really good figure though. Then we have old Ben Kenobi, one of my personal favorites in this set. I really like how they got his expression. I like how they used the older hair piece, and the printing on the torso, waist, and legs looks amazing. Then you have R2-D2, the best R2-D2 they have made over the past couple years. Looks very good. C-3PO, he does have arm printing. It looks really good, but he does not include a dual molded leg, which is extremely disappointing. I really would have wished they would have included a dual molded leg because they include that leg in a $6 keychain. Then you have 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 Stormtroopers included in this that all have different face tone prints. So they're pretty cool. I would have liked that budget was allocated towards some other stuff. We'll talk about that in just a second. Then my personal favorite figure in this set, the Hot Tub Stormtrooper, looks incredible. Then we have 2 Imperial crew members. I really like these figures. They look really good. The nice hat hair combo on the girl looks very nice, and the guy looks very good. Then we have a Imperial officer. Really like this as well. Another recolor of the hat hair combo, and she includes a new rank that I don't think we've seen before. Then we have the shuttle pilot. Looks very good. I love all the printing. It looks extremely nicely done. Then we have 2 Death Star gunners. They are probably the best figures that we have. They're really good, and they're the best iterations of them so far. Then we have 2 Imperial Navy troopers. They look really good. I love their hat pieces, and the torsos look good. I would like maybe a little bit of leg printing on them. And now we have the Imperial officers. All these Imperial officers suffer from some lower half issues. So for Grand Moff Tarkin, looks really good. I really like how Grand Moff Tarkin looked. And he has 2 cold cylinders on either side of his torso. It looks really good. And I really wish he included dual mold legs. Then we have Admiral Yularen. He looks fantastic.
and you can see just how well this figure is. And I really would like to include black legs. I know they said in the interview that it is for consistency because the previous Yularen had white legs, but that is more on lines with Director Krennic, where he kind of has that kind of black legs at the bottom. So I kind of see their point there, but I really would wish they include black legs, but that is it. And then we have Admiral Monty and Admiral Piet. These are two very good figures, and I would have liked both of these guys to have dual mode legs as well. But all in all, they are pretty cool, and they have the right amount of code cylinders on each of their torsos. Then we have the Imperial Dignitary up next. Really cool figure. I really like this pop of purple in this set. It looks really cool. And then we have two Imperial Royal Guards. They are fantastic figures. Really love how they look, and that nice swoosh on their torso looks very nice. I would have liked he's got some cool leg printing, but it's all really good. Then we have our standard Darth Vader. Very standard Darth Vader, nothing new. We've seen this guy a million times already. Then we have Emperor Palpatine, and he includes two new laser bolt pieces. And I really do like his torso and leg printing, but I really would wish to include pupils in his eyes. Then we have Director Orson Krennic up next. Really nice figure, really cool, really nice. And then we have Galen Erso up next. Really good figure. They include his torso. It actually includes a arm print and then his Stardust piece that they rescued from Rogue One. So a little bit of a Rogue One reference right there. And then we have the Imperial protocol droid. I can't say his name. It's really confusing, but it's really nice. I love the metallic silver. And then that gold on the eyes looks amazing. And then the Imperial astromech droid. I love these astromech droids with the clear heads. It's just incredible. So all 38 of these figures are really nice. Some of them have their own difficulties, but all these figures are really cool and are going to look great in the Death Star.
All right, guys, here it is, the UCS Death Star. All done, all completed. Let's take a whole rundown of this whole thing. So let's start here with the information plaque. We have Death Star. You see this enormous amount of cannons, all that awesome, cool stuff. Crew members. Man, almost 1 million people on that puppy. Really crazy. Then we have Director Krennic and Galen Erso right here with a little control panel. It's pretty cool, but we're here for the Death Star. Let's get into the Death Star. I do have the GWP included in this set. Check out that review for my full thoughts on it. I'm not going to give anything away too much, but let's just take a look at the Lando class shuttle first, since that is the main companion to this set. So for the size, this thing is amazing. Amazing. I love it so much. And that's really, I am a nitpicky person, so that is pretty cool. You just do this. So you can see just how awesome it looks. You get really swooshable, really fun to play with. But there are two areas of this. So you can take off the roof and you have a whole compartment where you can just lie down a minifigure. So it is really cool. And then if you take this part, open it up, you see that I have our Imperial shuttle pilot just chilling on in there. So it's really cool. And you can just place this back right here, I think. Yep, and then you push it down. It's a little tough to get a hang of, but there you go. It's right there. This Imperial Lando class shuttle is awesome. It is really nicely done. Now, as you notice, we'll go from top to bottom, let's say. So we have our knob up here that controls our elevator. So we'll showcase that in a second. There are a couple removable roof sections, like right here, where you can remove the whole roof so you can get a little more easy access to in here. I'll help get it out for the camera, but we have Emperor Palpatine on his chair with Luke and Darth Vader battling next to him. So that's pretty cool. You do have a falling down feature where you can push this in and this does fall down. You have two spots for Praetorian guards right here, and you can take Emperor Palpatine right here, take him off the seat, have him fighting it out with the Vader and over here, and then he gets chucked down into the abyss. So I think that's just another fun added little play feature. Really hilariously done. Let's move on over here next. There's so much with this build. It is going to take about 10 minutes to probably do this whole thing. So we have a whole turbo laser section right here, which is so cool. Turbo laser moves up and down very nicely, built in a spot for a gunner right there. So put that back down there. It's so cool. See a little bit of pop out on the side right here. Moving on over to this side of the Death Star, we have another liftable roof packet right here where you have our hot tub stormtrooper. I'm almost on the other side of that. We have a whole sauna back here. It's so cool. We got the hot tub, which actually is removable. Here, I can help myself. It includes a little coffee mug, a little rubber ducky. It's really cool. And now we can push this back down here, and then we have the elevator. It goes all the way from top to bottom. We'll showcase the elevator when we get down to the bottom because that's, I believe, where I left it last. Up next, we have a little spot for your Imperial Dignitary, and then you have this cool little wall back here where you can observe the turbo laser. Actually, no, the super laser, sorry, going off. And let's move down the next floor right here. You have your elevator opening, a stormtrooper, and then you have your scene where you can have Luke and Leia on the rope swing. So you can go from one side to the other side. Really cool. And then you have this walkway which can be retracted. I think that's pretty cool. This really cool hallway scene where it kind of goes up from the bottom of the Death Star all the way up to floor 4, which is pretty nicely done. Then you have your Imperial meeting room where you have all your higher-ups talking. It's so cool. And you also have a door that goes out. It's so nicely done. Like this, the flow of this build was so much fun. I love this so much. Now, we'll just jump down here real fast. You have your spot for the Vader's meditation room, and then you see Palpatine right there. Well, you could take that out, and you have Palpatine right here. You can just say, hello, Emperor Palpatine. It's pretty cool. And then you can see that go back in right there. And then you have a little spot for your droid. Then you have Ben Kenobi turning off the main reactor, turning off the tractor beam, sorry. Then you have this cool diagonal walkway. It's really cool. And then let's move back up here where you have the first of 3 removable sections. So that you could take this out to easily place more minifigs on. And then put that back right there. And then we have the main super laser itself. This was actually really fun to put together. I really liked it. If you're an Andor fan, you'll notice that this is the thing that he was putting together in the prison scene. So that is really cool, having that little extra detail. And then you have this knob on this side of Death Star right here, and that controls the blowing up of Alderaan. So you can have Alderaan there, and then Alderaan blown up. Alderaan? No Alderaan. So I think that's really fun right there. Then our next scene is the Imperial prison area, excuse me. You have spots for your Navy troopers, the huge cameras, looking all nice and cool right there. And then you have your little prison area, so you can open this up to get to your little cell. But you're running, Anthony, that's a little too small. Well, good thing you asked. You also have this cool little trench running down the whole side, which is supposed to represent the trench run, but we have this little thing that opens. We can put it down right here, reach our hand in and take out the cell block. So we have the whole cell block right in here. It's really cool. Place that down right here for a second. You could take a minifig like Han Solo and you can chuck him in this hole. And then chuck him in this hole. And then he falls all the way down. You can see him right there in the trash compactor scene. So I think that is really cool that you can just chuck a minifig down and he'll go all the way to the trash compactor scene at the very bottom of the Death Star. So I think that's really cool. And then we have our kind of middle scene with the main reactor right here. So you can take this part out to show the main reactor, which is really cool. It gets blown up in the very center of the Death Star. So I think that's a added bonus. Then you have another section that's removable, like Darth Vader's meditation chamber. So that's pretty nice that you're able to take that out, put it in. And then let's see, what else could we talk about? There's this cool little hallway scene. All these hallway pieces are printed, which is really nice. And you can have like Han and Chewie being chased by the stormtroopers. That's really cool. Then this opens up where you have your little torture droid back here. So that is really nice. You have your little torture droid back there to go up into the cell block. And then you have your elevator door with the GWP TIE Fighter. And then on this side, you have an Imperial control room. Really nice with all the detail. And then all the detailing, I want to say, around the edge of this greebling. Really nicely done. Really nicely done. Then your trash compactor scene's right here. And then there's also a little knob. Let's see where it is. Right here. So this knob turns the trash compactor. And you see a little Dianoga's eye pops up, which is really cool. It does
come in a little more, right? Yeah, I just have it blocked off with some of the minifigs at the moment, but it does close up very tight with only 4 studs of room all in all. Really cool. Then you have the start of your kind of base where you can have Ben Kenobi and Vader fighting right here. That's what those studs are mainly for. And then you have a cargo hole right here for stuff to be raised and lowered. And you have spots for your stormtroopers. Now, these are actually stickers, which is a little disappointing. But this story background right here is just incredible. I love it so much. So let's see about the elevator now. So this is the elevator system. Now, we are going to turn some knobs for a second right here to figure out where the heck the elevator is. Should be around here somewhere, honestly. Let's open up a couple doors. So the doors open up like so, and you can see the inner workings of the elevator. Ah, there it is. The elevator is practically on the bottom level. So let's get the elevator all the way down. So you can see we can fit a minifig, and you see that little white bar right there? Follow that as we go up and up, and still going up, still going up to floor number 4. And then this is where you pay attention right here. You see the little white just about now? That is when you know your elevator has arrived. Ding, ding. Now you can get out on that floor. It's really cool how this is done. And then you have a spot where you have R2 trying to get into the main computer system, turning off the tractor beam. Then I really love the black floor right here and how it's kind of slightly indented with the main kind of sphere down here. It's really nicely done. All in all, this Death Star is incredible. Let's check out the back side of it. So this is the back of the UCS Death Star. So you'll see what I'm talking about with some of the play features. You can see your hot tub stormtrooper room right there. You have also a little bit of light coming into that room too. This is kind of how they made the Emperor's throne room with that really nice printed piece from the actual diorama set. This is the elevator substructure. Then this is the, of course, controlling Alderaan blown up. Alderaan there. Alderaan blown up. Alderaan there. And then you also have this cool sticker sheet with the height of stormtroopers, which is pretty cool. You have a mini kit. Then you have your Imperial Torture droid. You also have the little, from the Lego Star Wars games, little currency. And then you have the trash compactor room right here. It's pretty cool. And this is the back of the starry background. I heard they were going to actually leave this blank, but no one wanted to see their wall behind it. So I'm glad that they used this. And the little stars are actually little wand pieces, which is pretty cool. And this is what the back of the Darth Vader's meditation room looks like. But I have a couple more Easter eggs to show. So we're going to spin this puppy around. So it's actually pretty easy to spin around. And let's see if we can find our helpful and fun little Easter eggs. So over here, you can kind of see a little meeting room, little room dedicated to some little memes. You have, let's see if I can get it more in focus. Yes, that's because we're going to get it. We have the cantina. That more bluish poster is advertising the cantina on the Death Star. Then you have a Stormtrooper shooting lessons, which is the little Stormtrooper logo. And then you also have some wanted posters of Han and Leia. So that's pretty cool. And our other one is here with Darth Vader's meditation room. We're going to take that out. And then you can see that we have a little Anakin Skywalker join the Empire sign and that blue starfighter, which I think is like hanging Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine on the beach. The Mos Espa pod race scene, and then you also have Geonosis Padme on there. So I think a Padme reference is amazing for this build, even the Geonosis one. So we're gonna push this back right in here. So it is pretty easy to get in. You gotta do a couple of practice attempts just so you know what the heck you're doing. And of course, when I'm filming, it doesn't want to go in. But there it is, some of the most funniest Easter eggs on the Death Star. So this is where the huge battle station is going to be living in the leg room. I have it on top of my Speed Champion shelves, on top of these half-ability bookcases. It looks so good right next to my Battle of Geonosis build. So this is an amazing set, and I am so excited I'm able to add it to my collection. And it looks so good on top of this shelf. Going to be the centerpiece of the Lego room. And it's so big, I'm having a hard time fitting the whole thing in frame. Thank you guys for joining for this warm episode of Anthony's Brick Builds. We went over the UCS Death Star. Now, a couple of roundup thoughts for this set. This set took me 17 build hours to make. Now, I am a very experienced builder, and it might take you guys more than a 24-hour build, which I think is absolutely crazy. But personally, I did 17 hours over 5 days of building. But This thing is incredible. For a 9,000 piece build, it was so much fun to put together. I felt always on my toes, always waiting for the next little Easter egg to pop up, and I gotta tell you, there were so many in this set. Now, another little thing that I thought was cool about this set, there are the little dioramas that are kind of in there, like Trash Compactor and then the Emperor's Throne Room, that are already pretty good diorama sets. This one did retire already, but I've never built any of these in their own sets, so it was actually kind of fun to build them for the first time. I've heard some people that already had that were a little disappointed how kind of repetitive it was. But the only diorama that I had that was on the Death Star is the Trench Run, which is pretty non-existent on this thing given the scale. So I think this is an incredible set. I love it so much. Is it worth your $1,000? Personally, I think so, yes. I think this is awesome, but I would suggest you wait for double VIP points or a sale at one point. But I think this set is going to be around for many years to come, definitely until 2030 at the most. So this is an incredible set. I really like it. I can't wait to put a lighting kit on this thing. Can't wait for Light My Bricks to do something. It's going to be awesome. Stay tuned for a video on that. I will see you guys in the next video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Turn notifications on if you haven't already. I'll see you guys next LEGO Star Wars video. Have a great day. May the Force be with you. Bye-bye.